and welcome to another episode of Bright Guy and Super Friends. I'm your host, Brian Labick, and joining me for this episode isn't really anybody in person. We are not doing this live. We're not recording as normal. This is just me coming in to talk to you a bit before you get all these clips that I've put together. So if you've at least been paying attention to anything that's been going on, it's hard to escape it, but the Rise of Skywalker has released. As I've done, or at least tried to do with most of the other big Star Wars movies like Episode 7 and 8, I've tried to get some pre and post interview type of, just basically whoever I've seen the movie with, just question them if there's any expectations going in, what they're predicting, what they want to see, stuff like that, and then just sort of get their non-spoiler reactions after the movie. So this is a spoiler-free podcast. We are not going to be checking any spoilers for any of this stuff. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you just want to get sort of what people thought, this would be a good one to start with, just to see. And I will at least preface with, if you are curious about the movie, try not to, I guess, read anything online. Even our reactions and opinions, everyone is entitled to their own. So even on this episode, between the clips that I have, there's some differentiating opinions between what people thought of the movie and stuff like that. So, you know, I try to hype it all the time. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. That just because someone likes it does not mean that, you know, it's wrong for you not to like it, or vice versa. If you hate it and somebody else likes it, don't give them shit for it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So just go and see it for yourself. See what you think. Don't take our word for it. Just go check it out. But as far as what this episode is, it's a lot of just clips. I've got, I think, 3 different clips before viewing number 1 for a couple different people that I grabbed. And then we all kind of split off real quick. So it was just, I think, Leslie and I for the post of viewing number 1. I didn't get time to get any question my buddies before viewing number 2. We just kind of ran into the theater and then sat down and watched it. So I got them afterwards and got a clip for there. And then viewing number 3 was just one buddy of mine. So him and I talked in the car ride to, and then in the car ride back, just to get pre and post interviews there. So out of the 3 viewings I've gotten so far under my belt, these are the people that I was able to rope into being on the show. So if any of you are listening to this, thank you for letting me stick a microphone in your face for 5 minutes and just get some thoughts out of you. Hopefully you enjoy being on. So this is just something I want to put out, at least for now. I'm still trying to schedule when we're going to do our in-depth Rise of Skywalker review. With the holidays, the way it falls and all this stuff in the middle of the week, it's a little bit harder to get people's schedules to line up. So it is coming. It's probably going to be later than any of you want to hear, but and it's probably going to be longer than any of you want to listen to. But we won't get there eventually. Other than that, I will reiterate again, it's a spoiler-free episode for this one, just the clips. No, we tried to very generally talk about the movie, what people thought, nothing specific. The specific stuff will come whenever we do the in-depth type of review, and we'll go from there. So at least one thing I'm going to bring up, just so you're not caught off guard. When I recorded these clips, it's a very small microphone. It's an attachment for my phone just to be able to do it mobilely. So the audio quality is not on par with what I'm used to doing. So bear with me for some of the dips in audio quality. It kind of jumps around here and there. I've tried to fix it a little bit because some people you couldn't really hear, so I tried to bump it up, which brings all the sound up. So there's a lot of ambient background noise that you're going to hear overwhelming, I think, a lot of the sound clips. But hopefully it's good enough that you can at least hear the people talking and you're not going to be too distracted by all the other crap that's in there. But I just at least want, so you're not listening going, why the hell does it sound like shit? But so that's the reason. It's not the best environment to try to record well and get rid of all the ambient noise and stuff like that. So that's what we got going. So hopefully that's good enough, at least, to listen to for right now. But yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoy this hopefully quick little thing with some compilation clips in it. Stay tuned for our in-depth review whenever we get a chance to sit down with everybody and do it. Yeah, and then it's just kind of probably abruptly end at the end of this episode after all the clips are done. You'll just hear the outro music and that'll be it. So hopefully you enjoy. Just wanted to talk to you, give you a little bit of heads up on what the hell's going on for this one, since it's a little bit different. Other than that, we'll talk to you next time. And, of course, with a Star Wars episode, I, of course, have to end with, and may the Force be with you.
All right, so this is the tradition I've tried to do the last couple of times we've done Star Wars movies is try to get together with whoever is seeing it with us opening night, get some before reactions, get some after reactions. So currently we are sitting at dinner. I'll let you guys introduce yourself. This is you know me. This is Brian. Around the horn.
Hi, this is Eric.
And this is Leslie.
All right, so we're going to maybe just pass the mic around, and we'll just... What? No, she doesn't like... Okay. We'll see. Whether it's just more or less a conversation. I don't know how well this mic's going to pick up all three of us if we try to talk, so it's easier to sort of point at people when it's your turn to talk. So any last-minute predictions, anything you guys want to see, don't want to see? Should we start with that? You just said you don't want to see Poe and Rey together.
Yeah, it was set up that, like, they were going to have some sort of romantic thing together at the end of The Last Jedi, and I just don't want that to happen.
Who do you see together?
I hope there's really not any, because if this is going to be the end of this...
Poe and Finn?
No, Poe and Finn. They have a beautiful bromance, and I love that.
Okay.
And I think they set up the whole, like, Rose and Finn thing, but I don't know. I think this is like this is...
Try to cram it down your throat. The Rose
to pick up.
Yeah, like the Rose and Finn thing, I think, was, like, pushed because the Rey and Finn thing kind of, like, fizzled out.
I think that there was a lot of adrenaline, a lot of stress, and then those kind of moments lead to that kind of stuff. Like, Rose is thinking, here's somebody new, here's somebody exciting, I'm a part of something huge, like...
She felt hook, line, and sinker for him. Like, you could see it.
Well, he was a hero. He's a big hero.
He didn't give two shits.
I know, and I feel like he doesn't. I don't think it's mutual. I think it's more her, and he loves Rey. But I don't care about, like, whatever romance. Like, I just don't want that to be forced upon us. I don't want the Poe and Rey thing to happen.
I definitely want Poe and Rey. Eric, who you got?
I want Poe and Rey.
I just don't want it. It's not that I don't think they should be together. I just don't want that to be a theme of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know how much there's a lot to cram into this one, so I don't know what's going to be the focus.
That's it. I don't want this movie to be a love story between the two
No,
of them.
yeah.
That's what
I could see them being together. I don't see that being, like, episode 2 of this movie.
I think Rey has way too many, and Poe, I think they have too much important stuff to do for, like, a romance to take lead in this.
But it could somehow weave its way in there, in the background.
We could get, like, a Lord of the Rings ending where, like, there's 5 endings that show how they end up. And like
I'm all for it. Give it to me. Give it
it's
to
just
me.
Poe and Rey with their family.
Oh, I want it now.
They're living on the island.
So that
village with those ladies as their nannies.
they're not going to go there.
After the war, that's
No,
nice.
they're not going to go there.
That's where I see them.
So I read a book that takes place before this movie. They answer the Finn and Rose thing in the book. So I'm curious if they address something like that up top in the movie.
Is it canon?
Yeah, book is canon. So, any other predictions? So Kylo, live, die. Where's he at? Redemption, Reylo, any of that stuff? Anybody?
I don't want to see redemption. I want him to die. He has to die for it to be a good story.
I can see where you're coming from. I just don't know if I'm, like, emotionally prepared for him to die. I don't, because I just love his character so much. Oh, God, I just love him.
That's what has to happen. Like, Paula thinks it has to be because they have so much merchandise and they have pushed so much money. Like, no. It needs to come to an end that way. Because if you do exactly what you did with Anakin, it's just copying the other movies. Do something different. Just to go out. Let him go out with a bang, but let him go out.
I don't know.
No? That's maybe.
I'm agreeing with Eric. I think he has to go. I think what I want to see is I want to see Kylo die. Do I want to see redemption? Not really. If they spin it the way the story works, if he redeems himself and then dies, I could buy that. I feel like the redemption story's played out. I want something different. I think
Exactly the same way with Anakin. Like, redeemed, and he dies, like he saves Luke. Like, no, we don't need that.
I mean, at the same time, Star Wars is cyclical. Like, it's a pattern that happens. It repeats, like a song. So if they repeat it, I get it, because that's the trilogies. That's what happens, type of thing.
But if he lives and he doesn't die, then that's not like that can't happen.
Well, there's no guarantees that these people will not, these characters, you won't see them again ever. But they're marketing this as like the end of the era. So I don't feel like Kylo can be like, okay, see you guys later. Like, something definitive has to happen one way or the other.
But look how definitive has worked out, like with the Emperor and the Darth Maul.
Okay, all right.
Definitive doesn't necessarily mean they're gone forever anyways, so maybe he'll fall off something and we don't see him.
And then 10 years from now, when Adam Driver wants to come back and they want to pay him a truckload of money, yeah, that can happen.
And then speaking about falling into like the abyss, does Captain Phasma come back because she fell?
I haven't seen her. Not that I've watched a lot of promotional stuff. I saw the first trailer, and that's it. I haven't seen her anywhere. I think she's gone.
All right, that's fine. I'm just saying. Like,
that's a guess.
I feel like she went out like a punk though. Like she's such a cool
she
character.
definitely did.
Yeah. She had nothing cool to do.
Yeah.
She didn't do anything. She looked cool, but like that's it.
I'd love to see her again do some cool
Yes.
shit, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
That was one of the only. That was something from the last Jedi that I didn't find believable, was that she would have, like, even with a threat against her of them, Finn and Han and them, like, I don't feel like they could have actually threatened her into doing it.
Oh, Force Awakens.
Yeah.
You said Last Jedi. I was like,
What'd I say?
You said Last Jedi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Force Awakens. Sorry.
I was like, she fell in the hole in Last Jedi. What are you talking about?
It's all. I watched them back to back the other day, so they're all one movie right now.
In Last Jedi, like, if you'd feel like if she was supposed to be like a superior officer, captain, whatever, like, should have been better skilled than Finn take her out.
Yeah.
That's a story beat though. Like he
I know it had
overthrow
to-
his oppressor type of thing.
Exactly. I mean, I know that worked that way with the story, but like
And it-
you said, she went out with a punk. Like,
Oh, she did. She definitely. Yeah.
And it was partially like the fact that the ship was, being blown apart too. So, I mean, it wasn't necessarily all him.
Well, yeah.
She was her surroundings also took her out, and she wasn't a Jedi. So, but yeah, I just feel like she was made to be a really strong character that didn't get very many strong actions.
I feel like every time we do this, I come with I have a bunch of stuff that I want to sort of talk about or get off my chest before we see it, and then the microphone comes on and I forget everything. So, anything else you guys want to get on record before we see this? And I'm going to try to get some other people on before we get in the theater, but this is who I'm at dinner with, so you guys get to be the lucky first ones. Nothing.
expectations. I just want to see a good movie.
I'm excited to see how they worked all the Leia footage in to this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I just am so curious what they were able to use, how they could finish her story in this movie. So, I know I'm prepared to just weep.
I know you two are. I don't plan on crying.
I hear her theme and I start to well up. So
I will say that one thing that we never got in the sequel trilogy that I really wanted, and I don't know if they're going to sneak it in, but the original three back together on screen in some sort of scene. I think it was a missed opportunity. Sadly, Carrie Fisher died. So if they're using old footage from her, Harrison Ford's still kicking around. They could find a way to do it. A flashback scene or something like.
original 3, don't forget Chewie. Jesus.
All right.
He didn't get a medal. You don't want him in
He's
the
a.
slot.
All right. You always talk about the trio. I don't know. Sorry, Chewie. I'm sorry. I don't know if I have anything else off the top of my head.
Put himself in the spot.
Yeah, well, this is why I use a script and I don't just wing it, because I can't do just off the cuff. I started seeing headlines for mixed reviews, so I'm a little bit scared of how I'm going to think about this.
That's Star Wars.
Well, it's hard to tell if people are saying it just to fuck the system and look at me, I'm going against the grain and I hate it, so look at all my hate videos. And
nobody likes the ending of something either. It's never if your expectations weren't met, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
That's why you just don't. I just have no expectations. I just am ready to.
That's why I felt like I tried to go in Last Jedi that way, and then I still feel like I came out of it. That was the movie that made me realize I had a lot of different expectations, and that movie went against everything I expected, and I was like, what the fuck? This is weird. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel.
Because you expected answers and we didn't get any answers.
We've been like every time I thought they were going to go one way, they went the complete opposite direction of what I expected. I didn't think I had expectations until it played out differently than what I thought, and then I was like, well, I definitely wanted that to go differently.
I think we're going to get a Force Ghost Luke.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Me too.
Force Ghost Luke. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Force Ghost Hayden Christensen. I don't know how they're going to explain the Emperor. So I really want to see what happens there. Is he a clone? Is he somehow survived the Death Star? Is this, like, I don't know. Is Snoke just going to be a really, like, worthless? Like, we don't know anything about Snoke.
Write him off, right?
Yeah, because if the Emperor is now the big bad and Snoke was no bearing on this story whatsoever, because this is how I see Kylo being redeemed.
Does that mean Kylo then was the big bad, but now is not the big bad?
Well, that's what I mean.
Because
right.
there's always two, so then he was like the one would have an apprentice, but now he's going to be the apprentice for him.
Well, that's kind of what at the end of Last Jedi, Kylo takes the reins as Supreme Leader. He's the big bad of that at the end of that movie. So that's why I'm thinking he needs to go. But if you go for the redemption story and the Emperor's back, that makes it seem like the Emperor is now the big bad. So Kylo could help defeat the Emperor and somehow that is even more parallel to Return of the Jedi. Kylo's going to take over the Vader role, throw the Emperor down the Death Star again.
Leslie.
Oh, we're getting orders. This is our food.
Brian,
Yes.
here you are.
Thank
no
you.
problem. Enjoy.
I'll cut all this out when I edit. All right, so that's it for now. I think food's here. We're going to eat. We'll reconvene at the theater, hopefully with some other people, and see if we can get some more opinions. All right, so this is pre-recording number 2. We have a couple new guests with us. You know Paula from Celebration, so we're gonna let her. Now Paula made the. If you remember Celebration, I think we talked about it at Celebration. How you love the spoilers and you look at all that stuff, so you know a lot of what's happening, but. Just going in, what are some of your pre-thoughts?
So first of all, this little microphone that you have is amazing. So I'm still very excited, and I've come to be okay with what's going to happen. That's all I'm going to say is it's still a Star Wars movie, and I'm very excited to go in it, and it's going to be an adventure. But yes, I know too much.
Well, you were saying the thing on how it plays out, maybe you'll feel a little bit better about things?
Yeah, I mean, even though I know what's going to happen, I still don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to happen,
right,
and what's going to happen afterwards. So I'm sure I'll have very forceful feelings after the fact, and I'll have my opinions. Yes, very forceful. Forceful feelings. So I feel that I'm still going to enjoy myself because it's Star Wars, and I'm very invested in these characters. Like, a little too invested in these characters. Yeah.
You were saying or shout out to Colin, who saw it a day ahead of us. Apparently twice already, you said twice?
Yeah, so when I just checked in, he, on Facebook, it looks like he saw it a second time, so he was doing some podcasting as well, so it was really interesting to know that he had already seen it, made his thoughts known twice. But
yeah, Colin, you're on the ball.
For real. But, I mean, I still don't know what's going to happen with the Falcon. Like, I'm still very nervous to think about, like, what's going to happen with my favorite ship. Like, this is a character in its own that I love. Like,
yeah.
I feel like the ship is a character. I don't know.
That didn't even occur to me,
right?
The thought of, like, something could happen to the Falcon.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Now I'm scared. now I'm scared.
But, yeah. I mean, it's the end of the Skywalker saga. Does that mean it's the end of the... I think that's one of the... I think that's what I'm most nervous about is, like, what's going to happen to my Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's, we were talking before at dinner, and with this being labeled as, like, the end of the Skywalker saga, are we going to get definitive endings for some of these people? Are they going to leave it open in case they want to come back in 10 years? I think that those types of decisions are going to, like, I had different ideas on how that's going to play. If this is it, I could see some characters get some definitive endings. If there's a possibility they want to leave it open, I think that changes how I think things are going to go for certain people.
And I think that they're doing so much with books and with comics and video games with everything that happens before. I feel like the meat and potatoes now is going to be all of the stuff that happens before, or like after Return of the Jedi, before The Force Awakens. Like, I feel like there's that time period that they're really going to invest in, like the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and like the TV shows. Like, I feel like it's all happening then, so maybe that's what they're going to focus on. And even with books and things like that, I don't. Maybe they'll do like Poe, or because everyone loves Poe. If he survives, I don't know.
I'm ready for Poe.
I
Yeah,
mean,
give me all the
more Poe, more Finn, like the Adventures of Finn and Poe. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'd be okay with a series like that after. But then they have to, obviously, like I'm thinking everything's going to be like rainbows and butterflies after this movie, like the Empire or the First Order is going to be over, and we have to rebuild a galaxy again, and we all know what happened last time. So, like, what's going to happen this time? So, I don't know.
Yeah, as much as they
So
label
much
this,
could happen. I mean, 2.5 hours is not enough.
Yeah, as much as they label this as the end, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, who knows if they're just like, you know what, we need some more Star Wars. Let's make some more. So,
Exactly. I thought the same thing. Like, what's going to happen in the future is, the same thing that happened with us. Like, all of our favorite characters came back 20 years, 40 years, later.
Yeah.
And, we have new movies. So who knows what's going to happen that, we might see 20 years down the road, Daisy Ridley in her 40s.
I'm all for it. Pass the torch again. Let's do it.
She's the,
10, 11, 12.
Queen Amidalaing or something. I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see if we can get somebody else before we're done.
Yeah, I'm done talking.
All right, this is our third recording pre-show. Whoever else wants to get in.
By yourself.
The staple. Mike Bradley's here. Darth Vader himself.
I'm a staple now?
Staple for the podcast.
Okay, well, that's fair
Get in there,
enough.
Three thoughts. What do you think? Any expectations? Any predictions? Even though you know some shit.
Everyone dies.
That's not
Everyone dies. Just
That's the
everyone.
kind of shit I was telling people in the car right over.
They just end Star Wars here. Like, this is the end point because everyone dies.
Okay, so he's full of shit.
The galaxy
and
explodes.
we'll see.
I have seen spoilers. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm just going with the most ridiculous thought I can. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fucking fun.
So you're excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're all excited.
Did we see Baby Yoda over the last episode? I'm wondering what the hell that's about. Maybe he's actually Snoke. I don't know.
Oh, see? Another Snoke theory. Chalk it up.
I don't know. That Baby Yoda force choke, maybe Snoke.
It could be. Could be. I'll wait and see if anybody else wants to. Sarah, you want any pre-thoughts for the podcast, for the movie? Expectations, predictions?
I'm going in with no expectations or predictions.
Okay.
I'm just soaking it in.
That's the smart way to do it.
I have enough people in my life with predictions and expectations that I don't need that extra burden for my own.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it now.
Say your name. Who are you?
I'm Matt Nickel. I have the perfect Star Wars prediction, and that's Baby Yoda is Rey's parents.
I feel like I've heard the internet. I feel like is just giving it to us now. I feel like that's the way it's going to go. All right, so we're lining up. We're going to go in. If I can grab anybody else, we'll do it. Otherwise, we'll catch you after the movie. All right, so we are post our first viewing of the Rise of Skywalker. Coming out of the theater, I didn't get a chance to really get anybody else to get on the microphone and talk about it for a little bit. So the only one that's stuck in the car with me right now is Leslie. So she is the one that gets to talk general first impressions. I'm on the fence if we're going to get into spoilers because that could be a very long and drawn-out conversation at this point. But general first impressions, I will start before I hand it to her. I hate to admit it, I think I'm middle of the road right now after a first viewing. I'm not sure how I feel. The specifics I can get into whenever we get to that point, whether it's now or whenever we finally sit down to dive in with everybody on the show. I don't know. I don't know how much I can talk about. It's middle of the road for me. I don't know. I tried to go in not having expectations, and I still felt like it did not do what I expected, which is weird to say. They answered some questions, which I think negates certain things that happened before. It's story decisions. A lot of story decisions, I think, for me I'm on the fence with. I do have a second viewing lined up for tomorrow night, so I may or may not bring this microphone to record with other people because Leslie and I are actually going again tomorrow night, and we have a new group of people to see it with. So I might bring and just get their first impressions alongside maybe our second impressions. But there's a lot to dig into. There's a lot to digest. The movie tries to do a lot, which I don't know if it is good for the movie. They definitely try to pack in a lot. And pacing's a little weird. It really runs at a clip, and you're struggling to catch up for the first third of the movie. And then I don't know. It's a bit of a struggle for me. And I'm still, again, digesting and running it over in my head that I can't form complete thoughts and sentences right now. Leslie, I'll let you, however you want to expand upon your general thoughts or anything like that.
My initial reaction was I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I agree that it was packed full of stuff, and it was like they were trying to finish up the Skywalker story while introducing something else at the same time. So, I liked it. I cried a lot. I missed a lot because of crying, so I'm excited to see it again. There was definitely, I think some, I don't know, we've already talked about it so many times, I'm trying to go back to what I had said initially. There was some stuff that was just handed to us, here's what you wanted, you can have it. And I wasn't mad at some of it, but I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the more she was talking, I started thinking some of the stuff that I think Last Jedi sets up sort of gets retconned here, and I'm not sure if I'm okay with that. I compare the viewing experience a little bit to The Last Jedi, where I think I expected certain things to happen or had an idea or speculation of where things could go, and they kind of just went another direction. This movie also kind of feels reactionary to the divisiveness of The Last Jedi, where it's this part of this movie feels like fan service to me in the sense that Lucasfilm or JJ or somebody was like, okay, what are the fans asking for? All right, you think you want this? We're going to give it to you, and hope you like it. And I have mixed feelings about The Last Jedi. I think it's a beautifully made movie. Certain story decisions didn't work for me, but I think that movie was going to play better depending on what they do with this movie, and I think this movie dropped the ball. Now, I don't know if that's JJ's fault or just from a story script writing perspective, if they just had things they needed to tie up, or I don't know if it's just because you didn't have one vision for the entire trilogy, and when you hand the baton to someone else and then expect them to go one way or have to pick up the pieces of the story that someone else tried to create and then tie it off, it maybe doesn't work as cohesively as you'd like. I don't know. It's kind of the stuff that's running through my head at this time. And again, I would like to name specifics, but I'm trying to keep it. I want to put this out early, so I don't want to get into the specifics right off the bat. I think that's something we're going to dive into whenever we all sit down and do it. So I'm trying to just get general impressions. And see, now I don't have an outline in front of me because I'm trying to drive. Yeah. I just ramble about everything, and I have no direction. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else right now. Middle of the road is sort of still where I'm standing right now. Check back in tomorrow and see if it's any better. Because the first viewing is always just let it wash over me, and then I start really diving in and apart and see what worked and what didn't work. The repeat viewings. And I know there's stuff I missed. So you got something to add? Go for it.
I can just say that this movie, it ties up some stuff, but it leaves you with more questions. So,
which shouldn't happen for a finale type of film. This is supposed to be the end of the era. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, there are certain questions, stuff that they tease where they could go with certain characters, which if this is supposed to be it, you're never going to get those answers.
I feel like maybe this was just it of the original people. Like, they're done. They're no more. That whole Skywalker thing is done. But there's more. There was new characters introduced that seemed like they were important, and like we were going to be seeing them more.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff they introduced is probably going to be tied off in like comic books or novels, or if like you want to learn more about these people, here's some more stuff to read and buy. I don't think we're going to get like spin-off series or movies from some of these things, but I definitely think there will be tie-in media of some sort somewhere. Whether or not that's good, or whether or not people will seek it out, I don't know, but we will see. All right, I'm at the point where I'm just rambling. I got nothing else right now. You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, that's it for viewing number 1. Like I said, maybe we'll check back with viewing number 2, see if anybody wants to be on mic for that one. All right, so this is viewing number 2 for me. Leslie's here for viewing number 2. Mike Romano, who hasn't been on the podcast for a while, is here. And Chris, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Chris.
Very good, very good.
Keep it simple, I like it.
You were on for Destiny, right? That was a while ago. All right, so I'm just getting initial first impressions after the movie. We didn't do it before any predictions or expectations. So, coming out of your first viewing, what do you guys think?
I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for the reviews, for how bad the reviews were, I think it was pretty good. It wasn't slow-paced or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't want to get spoilery, but any general thoughts you want to go over while you're here? Nothing?
No, I like that. There was good action, and I mean it was a pretty decent story. Couple weird things. We'll just leave it at that.
It's a lot to digest.
Yeah, I think I need to watch it again one more time.
I'll go. Do you want to? Yeah, we're outside. Should we try to give a rating out of 10? First impression? Is it too early?
What are we basing it off of?
What do you mean?
Last Jedi?
No, just out of 10.
Out of 10, I'll give it a 7.5.
That's actually lower than I expected out of you.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna do an 8. We're gonna give it an 8.
8. Okay, 8. Chris, out of 10?
I was going to say an 8 as well. I think if I watch it again, I'll start to understand more stuff that's going on.
Okay. Yeah, and you're, I guess the listeners don't know, but you are a Star Wars noob, kind of, within the last week, binging all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, 4 days.
4 days?
That's impressive. That is impressive.
So where's this stack up for you among the other ones you just plowed through?
Compared to the last ones, I think this is probably third out of my favorites.
Okay. Out of the last, just that 3 out of the last 3, you mean? Like lowest on the, or just out of all the Star Wars movies?
Yeah, the last 3 that I would have watched would probably be, on the last 3, this would probably be number 2.
Okay. All right. Still better. Force Awakens over Rise of Skywalker? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Something different with Force Awakens. That was the first Star Wars movie we'd had in so long.
I think it's more nostalgia. That's kind of skews that a little bit, but it's still awesome.
It's still fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's on TV, I'd sit there and watch it. No, I'm not gonna lie. I do.
I think that's still the most rewatchable one for me that I put on all the time. Leslie, second time through, anything?
I think I like it more. I'm liking it better. I mean, I loved it the first time. I cried less, so that was good. I noticed more of it because I saw more of it because I was wiping away less tears. But yeah, no, I picked up a couple different things, and then I think after the discussions that we had last night, after seeing it, I was trying to pay attention more to certain things, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think second time through was better for me. I think I said it was 5 out of 10 after first viewing. I'll give it 6.5 after viewing number 2. I got viewing number 3 tomorrow, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm still honestly, I'm still digesting. I still have to figure a lot of stuff out and see where it sits for me for a lot of these decisions. I'm wondering how it plays if I rewatch this trilogy again. Start with Force Awakens, watch Last Jedi, and now that I have this, if it plays better or worse.
I was attempting to do that. I watched Force Awakens, and then I just couldn't bring myself to watch Last Jedi. Couldn't do it. I was going to do it last night, and I couldn't do it. I had the disc out, put it in the Blu-ray player, and I'm like, no, I'm done.
See, maybe now's the time. Revisit now.
Focus on something in it, like Adam Driver's performance, because he's so good in that movie. Mm-hmm. He's so good in The Last Jedi.
That movie is shot beautifully. I still think it's the best directed out of any of the Star Wars movies.
I don't know. There was some shots in Force Awakens that really, like the whole, when the TIE fighters were coming in and they were on the water planet and they were kind of skimming. The X-wings were skimming across the water.
Yeah.
And some of the shots of the Falcon and stuff like that. I don't know. There was some good ones in the Force.
We also said you haven't watched The Last Jedi since it came out, so you might be due.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I promise Jess Christmas movies. Never mind.
After Christmas. 26th of December.
There you go.
Last Jedi. After Die.
Yeah, right. Rocky 4.
All right, we're on the horn one more time. Anything else to add? Or close it down? Nothing? Everybody good? Mm-hmm. All right, this is post-viewing number 2. I'll see if I can check back in for any other viewings. Otherwise, wait till our review. It's cold. We're signing off. All right, so I am going for viewing number 3. We are on our way there. I only got one friend with me this time. This is Chris Oliver. He's been on the show before. It's been a while since you've been on. And I was asking him if he wanted to do like a pre-show type of recording, and I'll try to grab him afterwards. And then the more we're talking about it, he was laying down some predictions. I was like, you know what? No, we got to put that on the record, and we'll see if you're right in 3 hours. You admitted not having watched the other movies for a while. So coming at it a little bit removed, what were some of the predictions and theories that you had talked about?
So, I remember the basics, but my general idea is that I think Kylo Ren's going to die some kind of like hero's death. He's going to have some kind of turn towards the good side, but still not be fully good. Basically, he's just going to be Vader, except younger. And I expect that Rey comes from actual like Jedi type lineage instead of just being some random girl that got dropped off by parents when she was a little kid. I expect her parents to actually be somebody important. I don't know if it could actually be like Luke or Luke's family's kid in some way, but I expect her to actually have some actual value to the lineage, I guess. So we'll see if any of that comes true, but I would kind of expect that to happen. I won't be upset if it doesn't, as long as there's a better twist to it, but that's what my idea is, I think.
I was trying to think of like other plot points that I could try to talk about because I know right now if you're right or wrong, but I can't tell you. What about, okay, so I know this is a big movement online if you follow any of that stuff, but the Reylo shippers, Kylo Ren and Rey, you think they're going to get together? Anything's going to happen? Or are they just mortal enemies?
No, they're not enemies. They're more, I don't see them getting together. I feel like that would be weird. But they more like a brother-sister kind of thing, I feel like. Of course, I guess Luke and Leia kind of had a weird thing too, so it could be a little bit weird.
Yeah,
but in general, brother-sister kind of thing by the end of it, and he's gonna do something to like save her or something like that before he dies, I think.
Okay. All right, I think those are pretty good off the cuff predictions. So we'll reconvene after and see what you think after the movie. We'll see if you're right or wrong. All right, so we are post my viewing number 3, post first viewing for Chris. I think for me, it's coming around. I think for me, third viewing I think is helping a bit. I still think if I was giving it a rating out of 10, I'm still kind of floating around 6.5 right now after viewing number 3. I still don't think I've properly digested this thing yet. I think I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about it, and maybe I need a little bit of time away from it right now before I see it again, but we'll see. If at the same time if somebody says, I want to go see it, I'm going to go. So
6 times the charm, it's going to be a perfect movie.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Even with like Phantom Menace and like all that, some of the prequels and stuff, I just kept seeing them multiple times. Maybe it'll get good this time. Maybe I'll get it this time.
How many was it for the prequels? Have you got there yet?
I've come back around to the prequels. Yes, prequels. I think, except for Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones is still terrible, but Phantom Menace I think has definitely come around to me over the years. So I'm hoping this one comes around sooner rather than later, and I don't have to wait 5 years before I'm like, you know what, I get this now. But anyway, that's me. So first viewing for you, like it, don't like it. What do you think?
I mean, I liked it. I'm not nearly as diehard and detail-oriented about them, I guess, as you, so that's more of a general casual fan, I guess. I thought it was good. I liked it better than the last couple. Certainly more than the last one. I kind of feel like this one was more Star Wars. It had more like real space action, all that kind of stuff that I kind of expect from a Star Wars movie. But it kind of had a little bit of twists and stuff, things that weren't quite expected, I guess. But I mean, I felt like it hit kind of the points I expected it to for the most part. Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was a decent wrap up, I guess, of the whole Skywalker saga. If they decide that that's actually the end and don't go for another 500 million or whatever they want to get, but yeah, it was good overall. I think I liked it.
Twists and turns worked for you. Everything was good.
Yeah,
still kind of like, we'll see.
I might have to see it once or twice more to fully, I guess, I don't know. Because it's a whole lot better to know where something is leading the second time around to really be able to know why they're doing what they're doing, I guess.
Second viewing is always the one that solidifies whether this movie worked or not. Like,
Yeah.
the first viewing, it's good, but then, like, the repeat viewings, if you get more out of it the second time, then repeat viewings are better.
Yeah, it helps that you already know the story.
Yeah.
You have the whole storyline already in your head, so you can pay more attention to the details and little things and why they did what they did and all that kind of stuff. I expected, I don't know if I guess I expected a little more from the original people. Like, I expected more Luke. Maybe less Leia for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But it was fine, I guess. I felt like they kind of like just wanted to get some cameos in and kind of have people doing some things, but didn't really. They weren't extremely pertinent to the story, I guess, but they were part of it. Right? Yeah. They got him in there pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. It was good. I liked it. I'm gonna. It's number one of the last three, I would say, at least.
If you gave it a rating out of 10, where are you at? Just off the cuff.
7.6.
Okay. Not even 0.5. I gave it that little bit over the 0.5.
I don't want it to be too even.
All right, sounds good. All right, so that's after my third viewing again. Every time I do this, I'm trying to grab more people just to see what they think. It'll be a nice little look back at a later date. I don't know if I'll grab anybody else. This might be it. We'll see. I will try to get this up sooner rather than later. Stay tuned for our, I guess, like in-depth review whenever we finally get a chance. It might be after the holiday at this point, but we'll get there. All right. Till next time.